Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I'm going to try to install dynamic hood lighting on my Genesis G70. It's 2022 launch edition. Not that that makes a difference, but I'm someone that really hasn't worked on cars that much ever since my 73 Mustang that I restored, but that's been quite a while. So there's not a lot of videos on installing this. So basically, I'm just going to take you through it. So let me show you some of the pieces and what I'm going to do. All right. So I got some rubbing alcohol to clean underneath right here. So I'm going to be installing it along the top here. And damn, it's like 42 degrees. I think it's feeling like in the 30s, but it's going to be in the 20s from now on. I basically found the midpoint just simply by hanging it right in the middle, making sure it was even on both ends. And then I'm going to mark it right up here so that I know where to put the center of the strip. Now, one thing that really got me was I noticed that this came in the directions that I normally see say, hey, connect the red wire to the hot black wire to the ground, but I got a yellow wire, and I was like, shit, there's like no directions on this yellow wire. So I looked it up, and it basically said it's for a multifunctional light. I guess I can have this hooked up to, maybe two different sources if I want the light to be controlled. At this point, I might just leave it hanging and test the light to see, how that works. But there's the remote control. Here's my sock I'm going to use to kind of put alcohol on and clean the top. I think the first thing that I really need to do is plug this into the fuse box. So here's a 10 amp and a 15 amp spare fuses. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hook them into that. I was told to hook it into the ACC accessory. When I look at my diagram right here, I don't even freaking see an ACC fuse, an accessory fuse. So that could very well be inside the driver's compartment. And the reason I'm not hooking up to the battery is because my battery is in the trunk underneath my spare, which is totally like inconvenient. All right, so I'm probably going to hook it up to the spare 15 amp. Then I'll ground it, start the car up, and see if the light comes on, so that way I know that I have it hooked up to the right power source. All right, so I actually have a fuse puller right here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that to pull out this 15 amp fuse, and then basically wrap the red into there, and then hook up the ground to an unpainted bolt. Yeah, right. Okay, where the hell is an unpainted bolt? I'll find one. All right, so I'm back after much trial and error. I could not find an accessory fuse. So instead they just hooked it up to the spare fuse slot, but the problem with that was the lights stayed on the entire time, and I had to use the remote control to turn off the lights. I want the lights to start, so I kind of took a look at my fuses, and I'm like, okay, so which one of these things would actually start up when the car starts up? So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, I got the sensors. There's a 15 amp sensor right here, and I know that the sensors won't go on until the car goes on. So I decided, you know what, that's what I'm going to hook the lights up to, and when I start the car now, that's when the lights come on. And then if I want to keep them on, I can just use the remote control to keep them on, if I'm driving down the road or something like that. So right now, that's the fix that I got. I grounded it right here. A little messy. Kind of stripped it with my teeth. Probably shouldn't have done that. But I got it grounded right there. I'm probably going to clean it up and then really tape this down so it just looks a lot nicer. And then I'll probably cover these ends right here because I'm not really using this yellow wire at the time. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just clean the hood. and attach the light. All right, so I've already wiped it a couple times. So I highly recommend testing the lights out first on where you're gonna wire it into. So I'm probably just gonna attach this to the fuse box right there, because there's not a lot of documentation, and it really kind of screws it up that the battery is in my trunk. So I highly recommend you just test out the lights first. I'm just going to let this dry. It's probably already dry. Then I peel this off and make sure that the clear part is facing out. All right, so that's going to be the next part. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark the center point down. So I mark the center point on the strip that I'm taking off. So right there. So I'm going to install it on the bottom. The only thing I like about this installation is if they have to take off this piece right here, my lights are going to come off right with it. So my hope is that that doesn't happen. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. Make sure that the lights still come on. Yeah, baby. It came on. Now my only concern is that try to get a good seal when I close the hood. All right, let's remote start this. Sweet! Oh, it works! Oh! How's it going? Ooh. So I'm super stoked because I am not one to install a lot of stuff on the car. I mean, this is my first attempt at doing this. So we'll do that again. All right, we'll do this and then we'll check out the remote control. All right. the remote control right here. I can turn the lights on. Looks good. Looks really good. All right, so let's see if the lights match. It's a little off, but I might just run it with the red. All right. Looks like we're good to go. So, anyway, got a few more things that I got to clean up. So, okay, so as you can see, I had to install mine down here where I see most people install them up at the top, but I'm still getting the same effect. I think it looks good. It's not quite the white that I want. Seems like it has more of a bluish tint to it. But right now everything's good, so I'm going to probably clean up by just taping down these wires right here. I'll get some electrical tape around here. I'll clamp the remote control to the top of the fuse box just to make sure it's not bouncing all over the place. And that's it. Peace. Leave your comments below. If you've dealt with these kind of lights before, I'd really like to hear some of your thoughts. I consider it a success as long as it doesn't blow my sensors out. So we'll see. Peace.